All right, so today's session is dedicated to the practice. And I think of, every day I have a dedication, and I think, it's the practice of yoga. Yoga is a practice. And I think, like, even as we go on today, as we continue doing our yoga, it's not like you haven't seen these poses before. You've seen them before. It's a practice. And they might feel different. There might be a new spin on the poses. It might be that today your body is different from how it was yesterday. But the practice is so important. And I think of the practice as forging a path. So what comes to mind is when I had my home at Ocean Shores, there were deer paths everywhere. And if a deer went by once, you could not see the path, but it took going over that path again and again and again. And before you know it, the grass was pushed down, the path became more entrenched. And so anyway, so I think that with our yoga practice, I think of that with positive thoughts, and that when you forge that path again and again, it becomes very strong. So welcome to the practice of yoga. And we're going to begin. I'm going to change my mask because this one, it's hard for me to project my voice. Oh, much better. All righty, so today's class the focus is on the back. So let's go ahead and start. You're sitting cross-legged and circling. And I just want you to really move into your shoulders, into your spine. And then reverse. One more circle, really shimmy the shoulders, move your shoulders, and then back upright. And now hands are right onto your shoulders, and your elbows come together, and keep them together as far as you can, reaching up, out to the sides and down. And again, same direction, up, sides, and down, reaching up, out to the sides and down. One more in this direction, up, out to the sides and down. And then next time the elbows touch, reverse. Okay, that feels good, doesn't it? Move your chicken wings. Okay, last one. Reaching up, elbows touching, and good. So a side bend movement. You'll reach up and over. So I know, many classes, teachers on that side, and I tend to be facing this direction. So might feel a little different for some of you. Reaching, extending, breathing into your side ribs. A deep breath in, and you exhale, you deepen. And then we'll come up and do the second side, reaching up high. And exhale over. You can move around slightly. Be dynamic in your stretch. It becomes yoga when we have that sense of breathing, connecting to breath, clearing the mind, in addition to the openings and the strengthenings. Good. And then releasing. All right. So let's come right onto our backs. And as you come onto your back, pull knees into chest. So these are all back releases, pulling knees into chest. And then legs come up into the air and you'll point, flex, take your hands behind your head, point, flex, point, flex. Separate the feet so you can circle and circle. You might hear little sounds coming from your ankles. And then circle the other direction. Try to spread your toes, move through the feet. Good. Hug right knee to chest. And then lift your head and see if you can walk your hands further down the shin bone, maybe holding your foot, forehead to knee. Releasing, lowering your head and taking it the other way. Hugging left knee to chest. Exhale, lift your head, bring your head to knee, and maybe even walking your hands further down the shin bone and maybe reaching for your foot. Good. Other leg active, straight leg active. Good. And release. Take hold of the first side again, right knee. And this time you're going to take your right knee over to the right as if you were taking knee to armpit. I'm going to see if Julie's got her knee in her armpit. No. I don't either. So it's just an idea, right? It's a directional. And then grab a hold of your right foot and you have this half lotus. Your knee is pointing over to the right and you're moving the foot around, and hold your right foot with both hands if possible. Good. What's so funny? They're cracking up here.
My head's quite off the mat.
Okay. And then from here, place. Oh, we'll do the other side. So let's pull left knee into chest, and right leg is extended. You might have to bend your right knee if you're very, very tight, or the leg is extended, and then draw your right knee over to the right as if you were taking the knee to your armpit. And stretch. And then take hold of your left foot, holding the foot, and your left knee is pointing out to the left. You got it. And yeah, and sometimes the head has to come up. So this is like, when your spine is really tight. I mean, sometimes we lift it up because we want to, but sometimes it just comes up in this pose. And then make circles with your foot, releasing your hip. And then reverse the circles. Good. And then from here, we're going to take both legs up in the air, cross your, turn around here, crossing your right ankle over left, and then grab hold of your feet. So it's a hip opener, okay? So you're trying to bend your knees, you're trying to take the ankle crossing close into your body. Oh, you got it, Cindy. And that's it. Yep, everyone's really good at that. So it's like you want to, by doing this, it's a lot like sitting cross-legged and folding forward, but this is more gentle on your joints, right? And then go ahead and take the legs up and reverse the leg crossing, left ankle over right. Grab hold of your feet and draw the ankle crossing close in. Take a nice breath in and exhale. And then legs are up in the air. Now we got knee over knee, you have knee over knee, right knee over left knee, and grab hold of your feet, more challenging. And, but once you have a hold, it's like steer, like what we call Gomukasana, cow face pose literally, but most people say steer. And you're trying to get one knee over the other and outer right hip stretching. And then the other way, legs are up in the air. left knee over right knee. Good. And grabbing hold of the feet. You got it. Lexi makes this look easy. No. Okay, and one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, outer left hip, probably talking to you right now. Good work. And legs are in the air and just shake them out. It's kind of a funny one. Shake them out. You shake out the tension of your legs. Shake them out. It's good, especially if your legs tend to be tight, hamstrings, quads. Good. And release, and then we'll come on up. So what I'm thinking is we'll do a few more like on hands and knees, and then we're going to do sun salutation. So I tell you that so you know, sun salutations are forward and backward bending movements. So hopefully this helps you prepare for sun salutation. So cat cow, rounding. Inhale, arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Round. Inhale, arch. And then walk your hands forward a little and circle your pelvis. This is where some like to have a blanket under the knees because these mats can be a little thin. So you're circling. Make sure your knees are comfortable. I'll show you how to use it. I have both knees. And when you come forward, really like go into your arch, into your upward facing dog, and then back. Next time you're back, reverse the circles. Julie, is this like week 3? Good. Yeah, we're starting to see changes.
But class 3.
Oh, class 3. She's doing class 3. Okay, class 3. After 2 years, so Julie came back, and it's been it's been hard for her. But she is just slowly, we're oiling the Tin Man here, and slowly coming back. She's doing great. This is great, Julie. And reach back. Lower your head. Sometimes I feel that way. Sometimes I feel like I'm oiling the Tin Man. That's a feeling. The words for myself. Oh, good. And take another breath in child's pose. Inhale and exhale. And then hands are spread wide. Curl toes under and shift back, and then you'll pedal. You're in downward facing dog, and you pedal. Some like to pedal a little, and then they straighten the legs. This is just wonderful to work your legs. Yeah. And then from here, we're going to walk to the front of your mat. Didn't say walk or spring, did I? And walk to the front of the mat. And once you're at the front of your mat, let's go ahead and just have your feet wide. And you can soften your knees. That's fine to do. Take your hands to your elbows and let yourself swing. Swing side, side. Let your back completely release. Side, side. One more breath here. Inhale. Deep exhalation. Notice how maybe your arms come closer to the floor. You drop your arms down. If you had your hands to elbows, drop your arms down. And then hands right onto your thighs. Come on up. And once you come up, I have to adjust this. And then we'll sweep the arms up. Extend, elbows touch. And hands are to heart center. So a few more from standing. So we're gonna take, I'm not mirroring it for you. So I could do this. Right foot in front of the other. Okay, so I'll also do right foot in front of the other. Your right hand comes up and grab hold of your right wrist and draw your right wrist to your left and lengthen the right side of your body. That always feels really nice. So you're moving your head around. And some will feel just in the shoulder, but I'm hoping that you feel it maybe down all the way along your spine. Paraspinal muscles, ribs, maybe even your right hip. And then release and do the second side. Left foot in front of the other. Grabbing hold of your left wrist and drawing your left wrist over to your right. And stretch and breathe. It's a balance. You have the balance in the pose. And go ahead and release. Come on out. Okay. So we're going wide on the mat, a little wide on the mat. You know what? You won't need your blanket for a little while. So a little wide, feet about as wide as the mat. And you're going to drop down, engage your core, drop down, not quite all the way down into a squat. I'm really trying to get my pelvis as low as knees. And this is like the first one. And then you press and you'll reach the arms up. And look skyward. Hook your thumbs together and kind of reach skyward. And then drop down. At this time, take your arms forward, look down at the mat, and you're using your legs, like your legs are working for you, your thighs are strong. And then push heels into the mat, reach up and arch back. And then drop down again and take your arms out to the sides. Your arms are all the way back. And then press heels into the mat and reach up. Inhale, arch back, wonderful, stretching. And then we are to the front end of the mat. Let's say feet are together. Mountain. We'll also give each posture a month, okay? Because there's 12. We add child's pose in there. We won't count that one. So you have January. If you're a January baby, you're like, "Ooh, this is my pose, mountain." It's pretty easy. What it demands is a calm mind, but physically not very demanding. And then reach up, extend, arch back, lift your heart center. There's the February pose. Even if you're not a February babe, you could still love this pose. You're reaching skyward, reaching for the stars, looking, eyes open, hands are to heart center, and then you can soften your knees. If you really want to have your feet apart, you may, or I'm saying keep your feet together. Knees can be soft in your forward bend or straighten, not locked. And we have march. I think of this pose, forward fold, is very introspective. It allows you to go inward. Imagine that you're a hairpin folding in. Hamstrings, even if your knees are bent, I think you'll get a nice hamstring stretch. Hi, welcome back. And then hands on your shin bones and extend your spine. And fold in again. So in a sense, I know it could be a loud pose in terms of like, wow, that's intense, the stretch to the hamstrings in the back. It's also kind of a quiet, moving inward pose. Right foot back and pause in this low lunge. So you're stretching your right hip flexor and then good, and we're up Back heel could be up or down. I'm anchoring it down. You have warrior. And April, month of April, warrior. Strong. This pose represents strength, symbolizes your strength, physical, emotional, spiritual strength. And then lowering and coming back, and we have downward facing dog. June, here we come. The month of June. So you can have your feet together. And of course, knees can be bent or knees are straightened. Relax your neck. And then walking the feet back and come forward to plank. Oh boy. That's my one. May. You know what? Downward facing dog was May. I skipped one. May is downward facing dog because this is June. This is June. Julie, your month is Cobra. Let's bring the knees down. Our knees are up as you lower onto the ground. And we've got July. We have Julie's month. And hands can hover, initially just kind of waking up your back, and then press on up. And, you know, the significance of this pose. Cobras have the ability to shed their skin. And the ancient yogis were fascinated by this idea that you could shed your skin, you could renew yourself, you could start over again and again and again. And lower. Press back, child's pose, everybody's pose. Come on back, stretch your spine. And we have August, downward facing dog. You share with April. And breathe. So downward facing dog represents or symbolizes a playfulness, believe it or not, a playfulness and a connection to animal kin. Let's take the right leg up into the air, right foot comes forward. Pause in your low lunge so you can stretch your left hip flexor. And then back heel down. September, warrior one, reaching, feeling your strength, fire pose. And one more breath, inhale, exhale, and then releasing and stepping forward. October, another forward fold. So you can see many of the poses are shared with other months. There you go. And as you're here, you can soften your knees. And I'm just kind of keeping my feet together today. Not always. You don't always have to do that, just the way I wanted to work. Take your hands to your head, gently pull down. Give your neck traction. And then your hands can be on the mat or on your shin bones and extend a half forward fold. Try to really extend your back and then fold in and soften the knees, reach the arms out to the sides, sweep the arms up, palms touching, arching back, November. Eyes are open. And we're back to the end and the start of the same. We're back to mountain. Stillness. Majestic mountain. Breathing in. And exhale. And then releasing, that's good. So we're doing another round, and the other round, the next round is different. We're not gonna talk about the months, we're gonna just add lots of different variations. Does that tell your heart rate and everything? Is that, that's cool. Nice. It's tell you how many calories we burn, in our, maybe, probably does, yeah, good, okay. To the front of your mat again. Inhale, reach up. So this time, you're gonna separate your arms, almost like a V, and reach back. Another way to do that is to separate your feet, take your hands on your back. So what I do is I have my hands spread wide, so I'm aware of not sinking into my back. Imagine that your hands are gonna help you refrain from sinking in your back. And you'll lift up, you're gonna bend your knees a little bit and reach back. Like as if you're gonna do a drop back, but you're not. Come out. And then come to a forward fold. Have your feet really wide this time in the forward fold, as wide as your mat. Take your hands to the inside feet and then to the outside ankle, like to the back of the foot and then to the outside ankle. Yeah, and drop your pelvis down. These are great. I'm just like kind of slipping these little postures in there. And yeah, good. Breathing in. Exhale. Now, free just your right hand, bring it onto your low back, and that might be your twist right there, or connecting your hands. You never know. Yeah. And sometimes a strap helps. The right hand would hold a strap. Come out, and we'll do the second side. So your hands are kind of on the inside ankle, left hand on your low back. And maybe the hands connect. Like really what you're doing is you're wrapping your right leg. And yeah, good. And breathe. Okay, come on up. And sweep the arms up. I think it's nice to create a little space. And then when we come back, we're going to take the left foot will come back. So this time we're going to keep the back heel up and come upright. Arms out to a T, I'm very close to the wall. Left arm on top of the other. It's called wild thing. The English name is wild thing. I don't know the Sanskrit name. I think it's kind of a made up hybrid. You're taking your elbows skyward, balancing because the back heel is up. Take your arms up even more. Nice, nice work. And take your left hand down and twist to the right. Right arm up. Lower. And from here, we'll come back, downward facing dog. Pedal, bend one knee and press opposite heel down. Good work. And then we'll come forward to plank. So from plank, we're going to side plank. You could go left or right. I think going to your right is nice because you'll see yourself in the mirror. And you could take, it doesn't matter. We'll do both sides. To make it easier, one knee is down. Some like to scissor the legs and some stack. Breathing in. Exhale. Good job. Come out. Remember the side you did. How could you forget, right? You're going to come back to child's pose. Rest your wrists. Bring your hands back by your heels and lower your head. Let's do second side. So once again, the variation you did on the first side, coming over and breathe. And come out and let's rest it back again. Come onto your knees, press back and lower your head. You can have your hands back by your heels, lower your head and breathe. Two ways of working the next one. One could be you're going to come onto your belly and you're going to be in Sphinx, which is relatively easier on the back. Or we'll do striking Cobra a few times, okay? And if you're not familiar with striking Cobra, you can watch and see how it's done. You keep your knees together, and I start out, my pelvis a little high to start with, and my head glides across the mat, my elbows are in, I come forward, I drop down, and I press up. So ideally my feet are together, my feet are not staying together. I come back, and we're going to do that 3 more times. So again, instead of that, you might say, yeah, I'll just be on my belly, on my elbows. So coming forward, strike, and press. Come back. Strike, that's a fast strike. And up, try to keep your thighs down. And the last one, watch your strike. Okay, good. And nice. Yeah, that's good. The variations on that's very nice. Good, good, good. And then come right onto the belly, joining those who are in Sphinx. And I like to kind of move on my mat, so at least my toes are pushing down on the sticky mat. And here we are. Some stay on the elbows, some extend. See how you want to be in the pose. And then lower. Now, we're going to hook our thumbs together behind the back. Hook the thumbs together and lift upward. Look to your right, let your arms swing to the left. Can you see your foot back there? Yeah, and then go across the other way. And some people say, what? Here in this class, I said, yeah, go look back, you can see your heel and release. Good work. Rest your forehead down for a round of breath. I bring one hand over the other so I can kind of breathe through the mat. Yes. That's a lot of muscle mass you use to come up, so no doubt you feel that, okay? Now we're going to take the arms back again. You're going to hook your thumbs, but reverse the hook. Do what feels most familiar and then reverse it and look ahead of you. Nice. And then look over one shoulder, I'm looking to the right and my arms move to the left. And then the other way, look back and keep your pelvis down. And back to center, and again, rest your forehead down. Let's press back to what we call Hatha asana. It's not child's pose, it's similar. If you need knee padding, you can use it. Your pelvis stays in the air and your forehead is down. It's a really nice stretch to the shoulders. Yeah. So pelvis is up, thighs are in the vertical. Drop your chest down. A more advanced form is the chin. And one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And back to downward facing dog. So hands are spread wide and press back. The left leg will come up in the air and left foot will swing forward. So on this one, we're keeping the back heel up as we come up. If you have to bring your heel down for better balance, that's fine. And then the arms are out at a T and your right arm is over the other and you wrap. And then you try to take the elbows up high and breathe. And then from here, we'll add a twist. So right hand is down and left hand could be on your back or up in the air. Turning left, good. I like that. Your hand in the air, the fingers are spread wide. Hand is directly connected to heart center. So when we make fists, not so, that's kind of, you know, that there's meridians that line up with the heart, and when your hands are open, well, that's very kind to the heart. Very nice. Come out and then step forward. And as you step forward, you're in a forward fold again. Hands onto your back, come on up. Sweep the arms up and back. And then hands are to your heart center. Thumbs touch sternum. Deep breath in. Relax the shoulders, exhale. Nice. Yeah, so it's a lot of movement, and yeah, so we're looking at the remainder of the session at these different categories. So the first one is balance. So let's take the right knee in. You know, I probably shouldn't even say balance, because as soon as I say balance, you know, people are like, uh-oh. So see if you can, you know, look straight ahead rather than to the mat. And release. So I like to tell the story of, I've taken lots of classes with Bob Smith, you know, Bob Smith from the U District. You know, over the years, lots and lots of classes with him. And he's an amazing teacher, he's wonderful. He could have 30 people in the class and say, I'm taking requests. What would you like? And he never forgot a single request. That's a skill. No one ever said balance. So when he would ask me, Fran, what would you like to do? I'd say balance, and everybody would go, oh. They, like, where did she come from? They couldn't stand seeing me in class because I always asked about balance because I needed it. All right, so next one, you're going to take one foot, and he would do balance. Does anyone here know Bob? Maybe online, some people know Bob. Keep Bob in your thoughts. He had a stroke. Apparently he's doing better. He's in the hospital, but he's hanging in there. And let's do the other side. Ooh, okay. So, all right, one more balance here. So what I'm looking at is half moon. And you could always be against a wall, you know, you could be against a wall for half moon. You could use a block or be right in the middle of the room as you like. Let's see. So if you're on your mat in the studio, take your right foot back. That way you can see yourself in the mirror. That means your left foot is leading. And then you'll bend, again, yes, use a block if you want. You're bending your left knee when you come in. Really, a mistake is to try to come in with your straight leg. People do that. And then you're extending your right leg and right arm is up into the air. We're going to come back to the side, okay? We're going to come out and release. You might as well, you could stay in this position because in studio, it can still face the mirror if that helps you. Right foot turns out. So that means you would take the block on the other side of your mat and then start to bend your right knee and reach. And this really requires a lot of inner thigh release and hamstrings. It's a lot. It's a lot. Good. Bend your knee as you come out and release. Good work. So in general, that looks pretty good. So I thought to do it one more time, you could do exactly what you did, or you could add to it. Okay. So if you're adding to it, it's like, oh boy, that's the reward for doing it so well. We add to it. We up the ante. So this is what I would like you to do. I'll show with the block. Many of you are doing with the block. Not everybody. So I come in and I'm thinking of, Rodin's thinker. So I'm going to be like that. And then I'm going to open it out. Springs on its way at some point, and it's like a flower opening. And then you're going to try that curl in 2 times and extend. And some of you might say, I don't think so, but you can always be by a wall and try that open and close, okay? The second one was at a wall. Yes, you got it, Bruce. You got it. And it takes a little concentration. It just, takes a whole lot of effort. When you've done 2, it's very beautiful. We're going to try the other side. Okay, second side. Over. Yeah, and I think the best thing is, like, if balance is just not, if you ever have a little, kind of come out of it, the best thing is to laugh at oneself. Just be light, try it, and try again. In, in, opening it out. How about one more? I did say 2. Sometimes you can't stop doing them. Okay. All right. Woo. When you're done, we'll come to standing, and I want you to feel yourself a little taller. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to work with shoulders, and so this is like a shoulder category. So your arms are going to be, we'll just say I. It's like 2 eyes. Can't say L because we have an L coming up. So shoulders like to hike up, draw the shoulders down. And then you have a Y. The arms want to go here, bring them back. Does that make sense? They want to go forward, bringing them back. And yes, you have an L, and I want you to make your arms like really strong. Now show me your muscles. Good, I can see your muscles. And then you have a W. Squeeze in, the hands want to come forward, bring them back. Elbows want to go here, bring them back. Okay, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And we're going to do that again. I, Y, feel like a cheerleading squad, and L, and W. I think we're up for one more. I, Y. L, squeeze back, like you try to take your shoulder blades back, and W, squeeze your elbows as if they're magnetized, reaching for each other, and palms back. Good. And release. Good work. Good work. So along with that, I do want to say one of the people I know, and Julie knows her, a person I know who has amazing posture. She's in her mid-90s now. She's amazing posture. And we asked her one time, what's your secret? What do you do? What do you do? And she said, well, in addition to doing yoga, I do this every day. And so she does a pelvic tilt and she brings her arms back like this and presses her elbows and her hands back, her head back, and does that. So what I'm going to say is if you have a wall, try it. Everyone here is going to just reach across the wall, go to a wall. And if you're like, no, I don't want to be at a wall, or you're home and you have furniture, then you're going to do that again. You can just do this again, okay? You don't have to have a wall. So here we are. And those of us at a wall, you bend your knee, you have a tuck. If you're standing, you don't have to do that. And let's do the whole thing. Let's go to the eye, and your thumb is touching the wall. Yeah, it's a whole different story. And then you got a Y and your thumb and index finger touching the wall. And you have an L, ooh, and maybe your forearm and the back fingernails touching the wall. And then you got that W. Yep, flattening my lower back, so it's a pelvic tilt. Good work. And then release and come up. So it's a good one if you want to be in your mid-90s one day with nice, beautiful posture. So yeah, isn't that great? And it's not easy. It's not easy to do it. It's like you kind of want your friend to push you in. Okay, so then we'll go into hip stretch. And let me see. So let's go into pigeon. You could, let's say that pigeon does not work for you. I realize it doesn't work for everybody. You could be on your back and thread the needle. If pigeon works for you, you might need a little help from a block, in which case the block, everyone teaches the block under the buttock, but I think block under thigh is really nice. That would help your knee if your knee feels a little like some pain in your knee or doesn't feel scary. And some of you can come onto elbows and rest your forehead in. And let's go ahead and switch sides. So in general, if you're on your back, it's easier to switch, right? But from pigeon, you go downward facing dog. Okay, so the other knee forward. Let's take one more deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so those on your backs, you're going to stay on your back because we're going to work on a little core. And that's the next category. And some of you are like in pigeon, you're pressing back, downward facing dog, and then eventually we'll come, actually come to sitting because I can show this to you, okay? The pose is going to be done on your back. It's just an unusual movement and it has a little sit up to it. So I just want to make sure that you can see it. So try this. Okay, so the movement is like this. So I have opposite hand, opposite shoulder, the other hand on, and imagine you're like putting on a seatbelt. That's it. That's the movement. You're like, oh, piece of cake. Okay, well, watch how it happens. Okay, so I come on, there are different ways. So this is the other way. So I'm here and I put that seatbelt on. Okay, and then the other, if you want it more, some of you are super strong, legs are straight. And you can see I'm not as smooth coming up. I'm in a little bit of a, okay. So let's try that 3 times on each side. And if it's really hard and you're like, I can't do that, then do it from sitting. It's fine because you can still work at kind of a twist. Okay. Yeah. And then finally, I'm going to work the other side. So when you work the other side, remember your left hand is first coming to your right shoulder, then your right hand on top. The hands are holding each other in a sense. And then you lift and extend. The arm starts the movement. The arm starts the movement, and then your head, and then your torso. That helps a lot to, whack the arm up. It does. Yeah. So the eventual is that I would be smoother at coming up. And then after you've done a number of those, pause, just come onto your back. And we have time here for a twist. So it's right foot on left knee. And left hand guides your knee across for a twist. That feels pretty nice, okay? You could shift your left hip more to the right so that you're really center line of your body. And breathe. And then we'll go the other side. So in Studio Yogis, the clock is always fast in here, just so you know, okay? I am aware of time. So. And we're doing the second side. On your side first. And then come on out and make yourselves very comfortable for Shavasana. So I would say in Shavasana, you may want, some of you have a blanket or a towel. A towel could come over your eyes. Because I do keep these low lights on. And just these last few moments here, the last minute of our session, noticing the stillness of your mind. And then I'm going to have you just ever so gently go ahead and start to deepen the breathing. Moving your hands, moving your feet. And then we'll bend the knees, roll to one side, and make your way to sitting. May that be the hardest thing you have to do today.